I just want to say that I'm extremely pissed. I'm pissed off for this country, I'm pissed off at myself, and I'm just really angry at people right now. Not like my friends and family, but just ignorant people. A lot has happened in the last couple of weeks within the US, and it has caused quite a bit of hurt, anguish, and hate. And I can't stand it. The real reason that I wanted to make this video is there were a couple events that spurred me to make this video. And I want to make this video because I just want to send the message of love and stop being so ignorant. And don't assume things about people before you ask questions. So as everyone knows, my mom is sick. My mom has cancer. She's doing extremely well. But she was diagnosed with leukemia. And so my sister and I shaved our heads in support and solidarity for her so that she did not have to go bald alone. And lo and behold, it ended up being this amazing thing that not only made me feel empowered, but made a lot of other people feel empowered, which I adored. Everyone said they loved this look on me, and it made me feel so beautiful, and just how much we put emphasis on our hair and how we look as a person. It made me step back, and I've always never thought other people's opinions mattered, because I am who I am and I love who I am. But, you know, when someone says, oh my god, your head is so perfectly shaped, and you look really good, it makes you feel good. It started about 2 weeks ago. And I can't go into too much detail because it did happen at a workplace. But I was basically called out, very angrily about a gentleman who did not want to receive my help at my job. And he was very, very angry about it. Calling me a lot of hateful stuff, including the N-word, which does not make sense to me. And a pussy ass everything. He also muttered effing skinheads on his way out. I ask you right now, do I look like a skinhead? Probably with your assumption of what you think a skinhead looks like. Yes. Am I? No. Plain and simple, on the record, I am not a skinhead. I shaved my head for my mother, and that's the only reason I shaved my head. And so that hurt. That hurt a lot, that someone would just go ahead and assume, because of the choice with my hair, that I was just this extremely hateful person. That was all fine and dandy. And then cut to a week later, and Charlottesville happened, and I am still reeling over the fact that this happened. And I was at the bus stop. It was cloudy, so I decided not to wear my hat. I know I should probably always be wearing a hat because this is it's not as pale as it used to be, but it's getting there. But I still want to protect my head from sunburns, and I was not wearing my hat, and I probably should have. But as a car drove by, and this happens a lot in Los Angeles, it's like a car will like stop and holler like just at girls, and I was thinking, oh my god, I'm gonna be like, hey, smile, beautiful, blah blah blah, which I absolutely hate. But the car slowed down, and it was two gentlemen, and they called me a Nazi and told me to go back to Charlottesville, where I belong. Let me just say that killed the mood entirely, you know, and at those points you have to think about what is in their mind, and it's all appearances. They don't bother to come out and ask me, hey, why do you have your head shaved? They just assume. And cut to yesterday. So today is the 21st day I should be enjoying the solar eclipse, but it's actually kind of cloudy in Los Angeles. So I doubt that I'll be able to see it, but I don't also want to burn my eyes. But so yesterday, on the subway, I got called out again. Just being called a skinhead, and that I was the problem with this world, and there's no such thing as free speech. And this time I had the guts to actually muster up and say something to this guy. And I was like, my mom has cancer and I shaved my head for her. And this guy must have had an agenda. He just must have been filled with hate. Because he just then said that that was all a front for how I wanted to hide my true feelings as a Nazi. And I would like to reiterate, I am not alt-right, I am not a Nazi. I think what they did in Charlottesville is horrible. I cried. Yes, I do have a very German last name, but that does not mean anything. In fact, my family, my direct lineage, left way before World War II. I just wanted to make this video to share my experiences that the world is still so full of hate and ready to just judge on a dime of, like, on the flip of a coin. Like, that people are so willing to throw out hurt and assume against people instead of actually going up and asking, why did you do this? Why, you know, even if it's not the answer you want to hear, maybe that is the reason why someone did shave their head. But at least you didn't assume. Please go up and talk to people. Find out the reasons behind why they did something. It might not, and be safe when you do it. Of course you don't want to do it in a dark alley and be like, why do you have a swastika tattooed on your arm? You know, those are pretty telltale signs. But if it's something like this, ask. You don't know if someone just recently went through cancer or is supporting someone who has cancer, who has, I can never remember the proper way to, trick something, but a mental disorder that makes you pull out your hair, whether they have alopecia. There are some factors in this choice that are not within people's control. So, ask people, please. And in the case of how I am feeling, I still feel really hurt that people would be so angry towards me without asking. I'll get over it. For a little bit yesterday, I was thinking about whether I wanted to grow it out, and my plan originally was to keep it shaved until my mom got the all clear. And then that switched over because I'm going to my first Comic-Con in October, and my first cosplay involves a wig, and so I was going to keep it until that, and maybe then during No Shave November, growing it out in support of guys who had issues with prostate cancer and stuff, which is what my grandfather died of. So I thought it was like two birds one stone, well, actually 3 birds, 1 stone. And it made me really consider what I was gonna do. But I'm not gonna let it get to me. I thought about it a lot yesterday, and I set out on a mission, and I like what I'm doing, despite all the hate that is directed towards me and to people who decide to do this as well. I love the way I look. I love on that random occasion where there is a little girl who is growing out her hair and she comes up to me and says, "Hey, I had cancer. Why do you have that?" You know? It's stuff like that. I love what I'm doing and I'm going to keep doing it. Despite the hate, the ignorance, the assumptions. Well, thanks for listening, guys. I really needed to get this off my chest. And kind of spread the message that not to assume. So, if you like these videos, you know what to do. I'm not going to go through the whole spiel because I don't think it's appropriate. So until next time, guys. Sláinte.